Alice Thymefield is the newest Anomaly unit in Zenless Zone Zero, and she's a mix between Jane, Miyabi, and Yanagi. So if you're looking to add another Anomaly unit to your roster, here's my guide on Alice. Let's not waste any time and dive right into it. If you are debating on pulling for Alice, her strengths do include not only being able to trigger Assault frequently, but she has her own Assault damage type and could trigger Disorder on her own. Number 2, her charge basic attack has high burst potential. This is where we're going to get a lot of damage from her kit. And lastly, she can also increase the Disorder damage multiplier, which is not only good for her, but other Anomaly units. As a general overview, Alice is a physical Anomaly agent under the Spook Shack faction with a focus on attack, Anomaly mastery, and proficiency. And here are all the materials you're going to need to get her up to max level. For the Anomaly chips, you're going to have to come under Combat Simulation, go under Agent Promotion, and then do the Anomaly drill. Same thing with her engine. You're going to have to go under the W engine modification and do the Anomaly magnet test. For what skills prioritize upgrading first on Alice, definitely her core skills, max these out as soon as possible. After that, you definitely want basic attack, then you can do X special and ultimate, then lastly dodge and assist. And here are all the materials you're going to need to max out all of these skills. For the physical chips, come back under Combat Simulation, go under Agent Skill, and then do the rigidity test. For our expert challenge material, you're going to have to fight the new Sacrifice Heretic Gesture for the Toxic Edge. Again, you're going to need 60 of these. And for your Notorious Hunt boss, you're going to have to fight Sacrifice Bringer for the Sycophant's Refinement, and again, you're going to need 9 of these. To maximize Alice's damage, we need to understand exactly how her kit works. And her kit is quite simple. If you look under her character icon, there's these 3 separate bars. This is Blade Etiquette. You build it up just by using your basic attacks, your X special attacks, whenever you trigger Assault, and with her additional ability, as long as any character triggers Disorder, that will also give you Blade Etiquette. She has a basic attack 5, but what's pretty cool is that when Alice triggers Assault, it actually does an enhanced version of the attack on the 5th hit, which is kind of unique. Going over her special and X special attacks, if you don't have any energy, what's neat is that you can actually tap your special attack button to perform Piercing Dawn, and if you do it at the right time during an enemy's attacks, it'll actually trigger a perfect dodge, which is pretty unique. Alice has 2 X special attacks, Aurora Thrust Northern Cross and Southern Cross. The only difference between these attacks is whether or not you have Alice moving forward. So if you're pressing your forward button, or you have a joystick forward if you're on controller, and you have the energy to use the X special attack, that's when you'll perform Northern Cross. And if you're not touching the joystick, or your W key for example, or you're moving backwards, that's when you'll perform Southern Cross. When your Blade Etiquette is full, it'll actually change from the blue color to the gold color. That means we can use her charge basic attack, Starshine Waltz. Now note, if you want to perform the full attack, you do have to hold the button the entire time. If you release it early, it will only consume 1 or 2 bars of Blade Etiquette. You definitely want to consume all 3 to max out your damage. When the finishing move of the stage 3 charge basic attack hits, it triggers a special assault effect called Polarized Assault. This deals damage equal to 100% of the original assault, ignoring Anomaly buildup, and can interact with other attribute anomalies, including physical, to trigger Disorder. This means if it's set up correctly, you can actually trigger 2 assault procs and a Disorder proc. Now all of this leads back into her core passive, Twin Rainbows of the Sword Heart. If any squad member inflicts a physical anomaly on an enemy, Alice deals additional damage pretty much every second of its active duration, equal to 2.5% of the original physical anomaly damage. So this is a passive physical damage that she has. If Disorder is triggered while the enemy is suffering a physical anomaly, for every 1 second of remaining physical anomaly duration, the Disorder damage multiplier increases by 18%, up to a maximum of 180%. The Blade Etiquette and finishing move portion of her core passive we already covered under the charge basic. The only other addition is that when Alice triggers Assault on an enemy, her physical anomaly buildup rate increases by 25% for 30 seconds, and note this is at max core skill. To proc her additional ability Mystery Hunt, all you need is an anomaly or support character. She's not tied down by the faction. Again, whenever any squad member triggers Disorder, Alice gains 30 Blade Etiquette, already covered that. If Alice's anomaly mastery exceeds 140, each additional point grants her 1.6 anomaly proficiency. Upon entering battle, Alice gains 300 Blade Etiquette. Again, that's max Blade Etiquette, which means you can use that charge basic attack right off the bat. The main point here is that you're more incentivized to spec into Anomaly Mastery to get more Anomaly Proficiency, rather than just trying to get more Anomaly Proficiency. You can actually scale both just by going into Mastery. The only other thing to take note of is her ultimate Starfall Finale. Again, it's going to deal some massive physical damage, and when you activate the skill, you actually get 200 Blade Etiquette, which means you are 2/3 of the way there to your next charge basic attack. If you're still a little confused about everything I covered under her kit, let me break it down into a simple damage rotation, and it's literally one step. All you have to do is accumulate Blade Etiquette, which is quite simple. Use her attacks, trigger Disorder with any of your characters, use her ultimate. Again, you will build Blade Etiquette fairly easily. And the follow-up, once Blade Etiquette is full, use that charge basic attack. Again, you're going to trigger Assault, Polarized Assault, and Disorder as well. get the big damage in, and cook your opponent. For Alice's best W engine options, her signature Practice Perfection is really good. You get a base and attack percentage bump. With this perk, Gift of Stardust, the Equipper's Anomaly Mastery increases by 60, which again is going to be good for her Anomaly proficiency as well. When inflicting Assault, the Equipper's physical damage increases by 20% for 20 seconds. Note this is at rank 1, stacking up to 2 times. Repeated triggers reset the duration, and when you enter combat, you immediately gain 2 stacks. If you don't want to pull for her signature, there are 2 other S ranks you can use. The first one being Jane's signature, Sharpened Stinger. You get a base attack and Anomaly proficiency increase, and with this perk, Indulge the Hunt, essentially, as long as you use your dash attack or perfect dodges, you can gain what's called Predatory Instinct, which will increase your physical damage by 12% for 10 seconds. Nope. This is at rank 1. It will stack up to 3 times, and if it's at max, you get a 40% increase to your Anomaly buildup rate, so it's not a bad engine for Alice. The other one would be Grace's signature Fusion Compiler. You get a base attack and pen ratio percentage increase, and with this perk Data Flood, you automatically get an attack percentage increase, and whenever you use a special or X special attack, it does increase your Anomaly proficiency by 25 for 8 seconds, nope, at rank 1, and it stacks up to 3 times. If you don't have any S rank engines, there are 2 A rank ones you can use. The first one being Electro Lip Gloss, which is from the Battle Pass. Now, I know this is harder to get at rank 5, but I would recommend it if you can get it rank 5. Anyway, you get a base attack and Anomaly proficiency increase, and with this perk, Kiss of Death, as long as an enemy is inflicted by an attribute anomaly, you get an attack percentage increase, and you deal more damage to the target in general. And the other one is Weeping Gemini, which you can purchase at Box Galaxy, which means you can make it rank 5 very quickly. This is the one that I'm actually using because I lost my W engine 7525 to Lycon's engine, so we just have to suffer with this one for now. Granted, it is pretty good, especially for a free-to-play engine. You get a base and attack percentage bump. With this perk, Lingering Cries, whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly on an enemy, the Equipper gains a buff that increases Anomaly proficiency by 48. Note, this is at rank 5, stacking up to 4 times, so you get a large Anomaly proficiency increase. For Alice's best drive disc, we're looking at 4-piece Fang Metal, or you could do Freedom Blues potentially, but you definitely want 2-piece Phaethon's Melody. With Fang Metal, at 2 pieces, you get a 10% physical damage increase, and at 4 pieces, whenever a squad member inflicts assault on an enemy, the Equipper deals 35% additional damage to the target for 12 seconds, and considering how many times you're going to be proccing assault with Alice being an Anomaly character, you can pretty much keep up this extra 35% additional damage indefinitely. Now, I would highly recommend Fang Metal over Freedom Blues, but if you don't have a good set yet, you can sub this in. So at 2 pieces, you get the plus 32 Anomaly proficiency, which is good for Alice. And for the 4-piece set, when an X special attack hits an enemy, it reduces the target's Anomaly buildup res to the Equipper's attribute by 20% for 8 seconds, which means you can build up more physical Anomaly with Alice after that X special attack. So it's decent. Now, the main reason you want 2-piece Phaethon's Melody is because you get the plus 8% to Anomaly Mastery. If you recall when I talked about her kit, for every point you have over 140 of Anomaly Mastery, you get 1.6 Anomaly Proficiency, which means even if you were to strictly try to get points into Anomaly Proficiency, you would technically get more just by speccing into Anomaly Mastery, and having that extra percentage there versus a flat bump is fantastic. For our disc main stats, at our 4th disc, you want Anomaly Proficiency. At our 5th, either physical damage, pen ratio, or attack percentage. And at our 6th, definitely Anomaly Mastery. And for our disc substats, we're looking for any Anomaly Proficiency, attack, and pen we can get. For Alice's best team options, if you're free to play, pairing her up with Corrin, Nicole, and the Lucky Boo will work. You'll be able to have consistent damage and Anomaly proc with Corrin, and granted, you won't be able to have Nicole's additional ability, but it's not really needed. The main thing is the defense shred. Another A-rank setup with Alice would be pairing her up with Piper, Lucy, and the Bag Boo, for example. But you're looking for the Alice Premium team, and what's cool is that she works with a lot of Anomaly characters, for example, pairing her up with Vivian, Yuzuha, and Miss Esme. Again, Vivian's main thing is the bloom damage that's triggered by other characters, either using an X special attack or proccing an attribute anomaly. And Yuzuha is the premium support character for any Anomaly team, giving an attack increase, Anomaly buildup rate increase, and attribute anomaly and disorder damage increase. She's good all around. But honestly, you could replace Vivian with any Anomaly unit. You could put in Yanagi, for example. Again, Yanagi can also proc her own disorder proc, so that's going to be really good pairing her up with Alice and Yuzuha, giving her the double disorder buff proc, which is pretty cool. Bernice would work as well. The consistent burn damage that you can proc will also be able to proc disorder consistently too. You can even toss in Miyabi, which means you have double the aura farm. So you can do Alice's charge basic attack, then Miyabi's charge basic attack, Yuzuha buffing them both. It's insane. The last thing we'll talk about is Alice's Mindscape Cinema, and is it worth getting multiple copies of her? M1, Palmful of Cilantro. When Alice triggers a Polarized Assault, she gains 25 Blade Etiquette. When she triggers Assault against an enemy, the target's defense is reduced by 20% for 30 seconds. M2, Sage at the Sword's Tip. When her ultimate's finishing move hits an enemy, it triggers Polarized Assault. All squad members' assault damage increases by 15%. Disorder damage against enemies suffering from a physical anomaly increases by 15%. And when she enters battle, Alice immediately gains 1,000 decibels. Every character's M3 gives a +2 level bump to all their skills. M4, Rosemary on her lips. Alice ignores 10% of the target's physical reds, and the enhanced version of her basic attack 5 accumulates 25% more physical anomaly buildup. And again, every character's M5 just gives another +2 level bump to their skills. So let's talk about her final one, M6, a Heart of Time. Alice uses a 3rd stage charged basic attack, or her ultimate, she enters the victory state for 30 seconds. During this time, whenever any squad member lands a hit on the target, Alice will follow up with an extra attack against the target, dealing physical damage equal to 3,300% of her anomaly proficiency. This effect can trigger once every second and is a guaranteed crit. This effect can trigger up to 6 times. Gaining the victory state again refreshes the available trigger count. Overall, M2 is the best stopping point for spenders, but going all the way to M6 will make her so strong. M1 and M2 are just so good for both damage and quality of life. Being able to have another way to gain Blade Etiquette, reduce the target's damage, being able to trigger Polarized Assault with her ultimate, provide a team-wide assault damage buff, increase disorder damage against those under physical anomaly, and getting the 1,000 decibels right off the bat, which means you're closer to her ultimate. Just with those two, it's nuts. M4 is obviously the weakest link here, but M6, being able to not only have this type of off-field damage with the victory state and having it deal 3,300% of her anomaly proficiency as the damage is just insane. Like, I knew Alice was going to be really good, especially since we got to play her during the 2.1 story, but I didn't expect her to be this damn good. Let me know in the comments how your pulls for Alice are going, or if you're deciding to pull for Yanagi. Like I said, for me, I already have Yanagi M1, I have her engine. I'm set on that. I got all the way to 70 pity on Alice and I won my 50-50. And when I did the same thing on the engine, I lost the Lycon's engine. So we have a full month to be able to get her engine. So if you want to see more pulls from me live on stream, the best thing you could do is just support the video in any way, drop a like on it, all that great jazz. Again, I'll talk about that at the end. My main thought is that, does Alice completely overshadow Jane? I'm 50-50 about it because Alice just has so many benefits with her kit. If Jane just had a slight buff to her kit, she would easily be able to keep up. And honestly, depending on what boss you're facing, Jane is better in certain scenarios, especially if you're going to be dodging a lot. Alice, you know, has a great dodge. She has ways to counter and not get hit by enemies with her X special, her regular special, her charge basic attack, everything like that. But I think for the next few Shiyu defenses and deadly assaults when it comes to dealing with physical enemies, Alice is going to take the cake. In any event, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on any other Zenless Zone Zero content we have coming out on the channel. If you didn't know, we live stream here on the channel and also over on Twitch. That link will be in the description. There are drops occasionally for Zenless Zone Zero, so if you want some extra polychrome and some other rewards, be sure to tune in to the stream. Also, be sure to join my Discord. If you got a great stat roll, if you have a good build going for a character, if you have a clip you want to share, we have an entire channel dedicated to Zenless Zone Zero. But we also talk about a variety of other games on top of PC tech, anime, and more. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. Now, if you don't know what a membership is, it's essentially like a Twitch subscription. Granted, it's cheaper over here on YouTube, but you're going to get access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff, including early access to all my long-form videos. So if you'd like more information, all you have to do is press the join button next subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next video.
It's pointless to resist.